would.
I wrote out several, like at least 10 questions.
Cool.
Beautiful. Perfect.
But
you can actually click on the link here on the screen, and it'll take you to the iOS download app. But you need to use your phone. So,
hey Josh, will this stream be running live in the app?
yeah, it will. After we go live, I'll grab the YouTube characters and I'll put it in the app.
Perfect.
Wait, hold on, guys. I'm confused on. I need to download a new app.
Josh, send me the link to the new one.
Yeah, I'll text you the link
Okay.
because you probably have the test flight version, and I'll send you the production version.
Adam says we are live. Welcome to NXTSCORE tonight on FanFest. Adam, thank you very much for doing this FanFest. Honestly, this app looks unbelievable. Your guys' product looks unbelievable. Thank you, Adam, for making it happen. You got some big things going on. We got Josh Parasar, who is a co-founder at NXTSCORE, Kevin Watson, co-founder at NXTSCORE, and Jamie Kelton, who are very, very happy to announce. And we are on the verge of launching something called NXTSCORE tonight with Jamie Kelton. And Jamie has gone to a small school down in the South called the University of Alabama. So we won't hold that against you, Jamie, but I think the people are going to expect some football knowledge, some sports knowledge overall. And an Atlanta Braves fan, so it's an embarrassment of riches for you.
It's been a tremendous year for both Atlanta sports and Alabama sports so far. I mean, I'm a little underwhelmed with our football season, says, the most spoiled fan ever. I'm like, we've dropped one game and it's a horrible season. But Boo, like you and I were talking earlier, we've been consistently inconsistent, but I'm still riding the high off of the Braves World Series. I was at games 3 and 5, so that was really exciting. The Hawks last spring, where did that come from? So really exciting. And I've had 2 championships in 1 year because Bama won it back in January. So I can't really complain.
It's titled Town. Please close the site on your phone. What does that mean?
Hello?
Adam said, please close the site on my phone. Is that, don't think we have a chicken scratch operation going on, but we, let's see. All right, cool. I closed it. But what is exactly consistent and inconsistent when you're talking about Alabama? Does that mean you beat certain teams 56-3 and then other days 31-10?
I don't know.
What does consistently inconsistent mean?
Well, I think something that you've come to expect from Alabama is that they have an identity throughout the season, both on offense and defense. And this year, I think we've seen big gaping holes some weeks in both the offense and defense, respectively. Sometimes the offense isn't hitting on all cylinders, which is something we're not used to. I think the beginning of the year in the 2020 season, we had a lot of questions with Pete Golding's defense. But I think this year we haven't put a complete game together. You could make the argument that we looked pretty good last week versus New Mexico State, but I'm not Cincinnati. I don't like to make, big claims when you beat nobody. So
that's a dig in there. But I'll tell you what.
Hey, Boo, just a quick heads up. We are actually live in the app on NXTSCORE right now. So for those of you who are playing tonight's game and seeing the show, you're seeing what is going to be the first of hopefully many awesome NXTSCORE Tonight shows. Tonight, we've got the good folks at FanFest and their amazing technology helping us put this little show on. But we want to give a quick heads up. If you're playing the game and you're on our Discord server and you want to ask us some questions, you can jump right over, ask away, and we'll hopefully get to all those.
No, absolutely.
But we are live on NXTSCORE, folks.
Yeah, that's exciting stuff. This is all of a sudden we got a burst of energy, and it's just kicking all cylinders. By the way, I have to give a shout out here. This is in California time, but this is one of my favorite places here in Mill Valley, California. Floodwater, very, very exciting place to be here for Niners games, Giants games. Hey, Jim. I'm giving a big shout out to your spot here, Floodwater.
All right, Floodwater, baby.
Here we go.
How you guys doing?
At San Francisco's favorite place to drink and watch sports.
There we go.
Oh, this place is hot. Isn't it hot? Nobody's here yet, but
we just opened up. We're ready.
Right, ready to roll.
Next time you guys come down here.
Bring them all through Mill Valley. It's pretty here, right? California. It's not full of homeless people. No. No, it's maybe 10 minutes from the Golden Gate Bridge. Just awesome spot. Thank you. But one of the things that's going on with this app, Jamie, we were going to talk about this, is that NXTSCORE is all focused on in-game, and one of the biggest movements that's happened with sports betting is for the past 100 years or so, you've had guys that can set a line -7, -21, or in Alabama's case, Alabama -38. Okay, and what you're trying to do is you're trying to make it a 50-50 probability that Alabama wins by 38 points and 38 points to the other team. With in-game, what's happening now is everything is going to become thousands and thousands of props. Like you see all those esoteric Super Bowl bets, you're going to find that to be the case for every game. So whether it's an inning of baseball, whether it's a pitch count to be, this pitcher is going to go 20 plus pitches this inning or 20 or under. So there are all kinds of things that can happen. And instead of a bookmaker keeping it by hand, you have algorithms that do this. So it's all just computing is being thrown at this. And that's what the guy up there, Josh, that's what he does. I mean, he's we don't let him out of we don't let him out of his apartment too often with COVID, but he'll be in the office soon enough. But he's a genius. He's understated, but he is. And Kevin and I are kind of hangers on for the ride.
That's tremendous. I want to know, because we haven't really seen a lot of in-game betting happen, like you said, besides the really fun prop bets that we get around the Super Bowl, which I think is why so many people get excited about that game. Who's going to score the first touchdown? Which team's going to win the toss, and pick what songs are going to be in the halftime show, right? All those fun, exciting bets. But so what was the inspiration for NXTSCORE, right? Did you look at the Super Bowl and were you like, wow, why is that not a thing for any other regular season or playoff game? What was the inspiration behind that? What sort of lack did you see in the betting landscape where you're like, we want to fill this?
Well, one of the things was, and I'll turn it over to Josh on this too. First of all, I'll tell you, when I was in 8th grade, Kevin was in 10th grade, and he came up to me and he said, hey, let's do this one pick'em bracket that we could sell for $1 at our schools, at our respective schools. And that's how long and the game was Denver Niners, and the Niners won that game 45 points. It was 55 to 10. It was just crazy. They just completely trounced Denver. And no one picked 45 points, Niners by 45 points. I got to keep all the money. So for the past 30 years or so, I've been waiting for this moment of sports betting legalization. And I used to be in the poker business as well during the poker boom with All In magazine. So now when I saw this happen with in-game wagering, I love to watch a game. So I'm sure, as you do, Jamie, when you're watching a game, you're looking to see, okay, what's going to happen on this possession? Do they look good? Do they not look good? There are all kinds of things aside from the songs and other those kind of crazy bets for the Super Bowl. Mm-hmm. The way that a fan watches the game is, oh, that pitcher's not looking good, or the quarterback's not looking good. I think this defense is going to get a stop on this series. I don't think they're going to get into the red zone. I don't think they're going to get in field goal range. And those are the types of things that you want to be able to bet on. And those are the things that Josh models for NXTSCORE. So we built these really, really great models. And one of the things with betting is when you see these complicated numbers like plus 400, plus 500, money line, those types of things, I don't think they work as well as 0 to 100. So if you're familiar with win probability, win probability is this easy thing, right? I mean, so when a team is way behind, they tell you, well, the win probability is 2%, and then they end up winning the game. It's hugely climatic thing, right? It goes from 2% to 100% by the end of the game. Mm-hmm. So you can use win probability for anything. You can use it for an at-bat. You can say, Altuve not to hit a home run against the Braves, and the probability could be 2, and he doesn't, and it goes down to 0. It could be anything. So it could be all these sorts of things, and that's the crux of what we do. But Josh, what do you think about 0 to 100 and where the future is going with that?
Yeah, so answering the same question, honestly, when I was on the trading floor for a few years, 2017, 2018, 2019, I used to like to put sports on, especially when the markets were slow, and we would bet on the games, and we would always use 0 to 100. It was just the most intuitive. It was the easiest, fastest. And when I saw that Boo's the founder, and I joined him a little bit later, when I saw that he's launching, it was Score Trade back then with the 0 to 100. And it was coming right after the 2018 Supreme Court case in which it was state by state to legalize. So we were as a trader, you kind of see that the traders who got in early around .com or maybe even earlier, they made a killing. The industry really boomed. So the same thing is going to happen for sports betting. So it's an industry I want to be in and a format that I loved.
Well, Boo, let me tell you, I came from the political world, and everybody knows 0 to 100 probability. You think elections, it's everywhere. We're watching game content these days, Amazon, Next Gen Sports. People will talk about every time there's a kick, people telling you what it is and why they should go for it on fourth down. So it's clearly the intuitive way that the fans are watching the game, but it's also a lot easier for folks. So unlike Josh, I did not go to school that was known for its incredible intellect. I went to a little 12 school up in the Northwest. Ryan Leaf was in my math class. So neither one of us were signing up for the hard math class. So you can just guess what that'd be like. But the 0 to 100 just makes it really easy to take any outcome and mathematically model it and then have the audience understand when there's some change. I mean, honestly, if you look at the way they did odds, the standard betting odds, the reality is the reason that's done is because the house doesn't want you to even understand the math, right? The whole odds are there to confuse you, so to add to the house edge. So this just makes it easier. It's kind of a bit more power to the people. Plus, it's just a lot more fun, and it's in tune with how we're watching the game. So 0 to 100 is definitely going to be the way for in-game, all kinds of contests, and a lot of fun.
I love that. That's so exciting. Boo, let me ask you. So it's kind of like you're at me as a viewer when I'm watching the game, right? I'm making all these opinions about what's happening and what's going to happen. So you're just actually making that an interactive experience for the user on the things that I'm already feeling and thinking by how the game's going.
That's the goal. So that's what we're always trying to model. We're trying to get into the eye, and we're huge sports fans. Josh and I are huge sports fans. We were arguing all the time during games that this probability is wrong. You're not very good at math, Josh, unfortunately, but we're always talking about this past couple of years. But that's exactly, we have a possession game coming out where when a drive starts, what's the number one thing you're wondering about? If it's a competitive game, you're saying, what's going to happen on this possession, right? Are they going to get a first down? Are they going to move past midfield? And how does any drive end in football? It either ends in a touchdown, a missed field goal, a field goal, punt, fumble or interception. What's that?
The turnover.
Turnover, fumble or interception, or other, where you safety, run out of time, turnover on down. So those three are like less than, end of half or whatever. So those 6 probabilities, so of those 6 things, one of them is going to be 100, and the other 5 are going to be 0. So during that drive, these numbers are fluctuating, like my hands here. So they're fluctuating, and that's what makes it fun, because then it's first down. Okay, first down from your own 25, touchdown probability might be, what would it be, Josh? Touchdown probability for Alabama against a better team like Georgia.
Oh, against Georgia, it's low. Georgia doesn't give up many touchdowns this year, right, Jamie?
No.
That's right. No, the most amount of points they gave up was last week against Tennessee. So I don't know. I think they haven't really seen an offense like Alabama's yet, and maybe we haven't seen a defense like theirs. So
right.
it'll be fun to see strength go against strength.
When do they play?
If we win on Saturday, we'll play in the SEC Championship December 4th.
Oh, that'll be fun.
Other fun fact. Okay, so that'll be 2 against 1, right? Then Bama basketball is going up against number 1 Gonzaga that night after the SEC championship ends. So we have the opportunity to take down 2 number 1 teams on the same night.
Wow.
So yeah, I'm not stressed or like worried or like anything like that. Like I'm not even thinking about it. So everything's fine. I'm fine.
Now, are a lot of your family members and others around you where you grew up? You grew up in Atlanta, right?
I did. Yes.
Yeah. So did they give you a tough time that you did not go to Georgia and here Georgia's so dominant? They give you a tough time about that?
No, they didn't. So my mom's from Chicago and my dad's from Texas, South Texas. He went to Texas Tech. So yeah. I'm a Red Raider as well. But no, when I graduated high school, half my high school was going to Georgia and the other half was going to Auburn. I graduated in 2005, and that was right after Auburn's undefeated season. And then I think that 2005 year, they were undefeated as well. And they didn't go to the national championship. So all the kids were, jumping ship from Georgia and wanting to go to Auburn because that seemed like the premier football program in the SEC at the time. And it's literally not even an hour and a half from Atlanta. It's equidistant from Athens. So it was really equal Bama Auburn, and I was like, I don't want to go to college with the rest of my high school. This is terrible. Also, as you know, I danced in college as well, and Bama had a really great dance program. So I was like, I want dance, I want football, I want the whole experience.
Now we got to get Jared into this thing, but that's fantastic, Jamie. And I'll tell you one thing: when you look at Auburn and Alabama, obviously, I take it you've seen that one. I think the Bo Jackson special. Have you ever seen the Bo Jackson documentary on ESPN? You ever seen
You
this?
know what? Anytime there's an Auburn special, I try to change the channel boost. No, I haven't seen that one.
That you have not seen that one. Well, it goes into like how he almost committed. It's like Alabama, Auburn. It's like, he's Alabama's greatest athlete. So, but it was fantastic.
I thought you were about to ask me where I was when the kick six happened, which is something everyone loves to ask. It's like 9/11, right? Like kind of like, where were you when the kick six happened?
Where were you? I remember exactly where I was.
Yeah, I was watching the game in a bar in Atlanta with a few of our old football players and some of my best friends, and it was just, I still maintain to this day that he stepped out of bounds, but they didn't ask me when it happened. So
that was insane. That game was insane. Everybody asked. In fact, one of our investors asked about that. He said, how do you model an edge case in a missed? Remember, Josh, I asked you that a week and a half ago on the missed field goal on the kick six, right? I said, how do we model that? Is that a missed field goal, or how does that get scored in? How does that scored in our game? An edge case?
That's a missed field goal. Yeah,
it is a missed field goal. Yeah, right.
Yeah.
What was he thinking? That was unbelievable. That was Thanksgiving weekend. I remember exactly where I was. I was watching it. We had a bunch of people from Thanksgiving over, and we're watching that game. We couldn't get. And Adam says, Josh, we're getting a playback error on the. Oh, that's what you said. We're getting a playback error on the. Okay, no problem.
Well, are you guys seeing that? Are you able to see the video on the app right now?
Let me see. Yeah, we are.
Are you getting the error, or are you able to see the video?
No, we're getting the error. But you know what, though? We can switch it over to Twitch. If they want to switch it over to Twitch, we can switch it over to Twitch. And
yeah.
By the way, so one of the things, Jamie, that's happened in the last few days or so that's been a very, very fortuitous event for us at NXTSCORE. We rebranded it primarily NXTSCORE from Score Trade to look at this whole crypto boom. And it's a phenomenon. Who knows where it's going to go? But as we were talking earlier today, we're giving away tokens. So it's play for free, and play for free allows you to be in all 50 states. And that's a very, very big deal, because in states like Alabama, for instance, California, where I am, Texas, a lot of the very big states, sports gambling is not legal. So you have fantasy sports legal, but this is not legal. At the same time, when we used to give away small cash prizes in our testing, it was working pretty well. People kind of liked it. But all of a sudden, we started giving away tokens and then said, these are going to be crypto tokens, NXTX tokens. Mm-hmm. It's been wild, because people love to see where NXTX is going to go. And one of the things that with NXTX tokens, it's an Ethereum-based token. It doesn't have any value yet, in a sense, but it's starting to have some value already in terms of the community. So the more people that have NXTX tokens, the more valuable it becomes, the more valuable that the community becomes. So it's almost like, imagine if the first million users of Facebook all got Facebook tokens, and you could use those Facebook tokens for something. And the more people that join, the more valuable the tokens get. And interestingly enough, as a part of this whole crypto phenomenon and where we are in this economy and in this culture, because it's a cultural moment, it's that people would rather get 500 tokens, 1,000 tokens, 20,000 tokens, where they don't know what the value is, rather than $100. And that's certainly something we're seeing with our audience at NXTSCORE. So everybody watching, get those NXTX tokens, because we are working very hard to build a community around this and really drive this forward and have you become a part of this culture. And we're the first, and it's surprising that we even have the opportunity to do this, but we're the first to integrate crypto and sports gaming and sports predictions. So we're in a very, very lucky spot. And if we can pull this off, it's always an if with startups and everything else, but if we can, it's just going to be absolutely huge. There's our man right there. What's up, Jared?
Hey, I'm trying to get on here. I think my internet's bad.
Okay. Look here now, Jamie. Now you're not outnumbered. We got somebody. I told you we'd have another Southerner join.
Oh, there he is.
That's my favorite man right there. What's up, baby?
Oh, What's going on, guys?
What's happening, man? Jared, I want to introduce you to Jamie Kelton. Jamie Kelton is our person that's going to be co-hosting Next Score tonight. You know, we obviously are going to have you around Next Score tonight, and obviously
Right.
you know Kevin and Josh, and we're glad to get the band back together. But what's going on with you, man? What's by the way, you know, Jared is in Houston. Jamie went to, I think, 2 or 3 of the Braves games, watched them. You know, I think everybody in America is glad the Astros and the correct organization lost.
That can't be true. Astros, they look, guys. Yeah, the Astros might have done some bad things, but we got to put that behind us. And you know, okay, you know what? We'll lose this World Series if no one talks about 2017 ever again. How's that?
Josh, is that a
Is
possibility?
that a fair deal?
You know, the World Series. I was happy that you lost the World Series, I have to say, but I was really, really happy that you beat the Red Sox. That was more important to me. When that happened, I forgave, let's say, 1/3 of 2017.
Josh is a huge Yankees fan. He's been crying for years about this stuff. He's very begrudgingly acknowledged that Tom Brady actually is a good quarterback and is good at football. It took me I think 2 years to get him to say that at least.
Well, now he's not coming anymore. Jared,
congratulations to the Braves.
Thank you. I thought about wearing my Braves shirt, but I was like, you know.
You should have.
Yeah,
maybe next time. It's the first time I'm meeting this guy. I know he's in Texas, so
no, you gotta rub it in.
Take it easy on him. Not really.
No.
Here's my question for Jared. When did you know it was over for you guys? Like, when did you have that gut-wrenching moment when you're like, this is just the tide is not going to turn the right way for us?
It was the final game. I always held out hope because, you know, we won the game before, and I'm like,
yeah.
And to be honest with you, I could have made an argument that when it came back to Houston, it could have been 3-2 Houston. But, you know, it was that last game when they hit that, I don't know, the Braves scored so many runs there, and then the momentum was gone. So
when Soler knocked one into Oklahoma, like it was just, I was like, okay.
That was pretty much it. Yeah, that was right there. Yeah, it was disappointing.
Speaking of taking wind out of sails, I was at Game 5. Was that Sunday night after, you know, we opened it up and who was it hit the grand slam in the first inning. I thought we caught lightning in a bottle, man, and Braves are about to win it in 5. I'm gonna be here. Mm-hmm. And then you guys just went on a freaking rampage, and just every time I looked, I went to go get hot dog, a beer. I came back and there was like 3 more runs on the board. I was like,
I had a weird feeling about that game. You know, even after the grand slam, they came back. I was just like, you know, I think we're gonna win this thing. The one that killed me was it 2-1 we lost?
That was game 3. No.
Yeah, that was the one that just crushed me because I feel like that's the game that got away.
With the 2 solo homers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think, and you guys probably know this already, there was like a 75 or 78% chance that the team that won Game 3 in the World Series won the whole thing. When they were coming back home, they won Game 3. That like 75 or 78% of the time went on to win the whole series.
Yeah.
Yeah. So once you're up 2-1, the other team needs to either win 3 straight or 3 out of 4. Right? So it's tough to do in baseball.
Yeah. Especially how good the Braves were at home in the postseason. So I think they only lost 1 game at home, wasn't it? And they're in the postseason?
Yeah, it was probably 1 game, and it was Game 5.
Yeah.
Crazy. And I'm so sad though, because, you know, I have 10 strings of pearls now, right? I even got a shirt made. Like, we are those you know, the Jock Peterson quote, right? Atlanta is so up on Jock Peterson. Doesn't seem like he's coming back now. So our super all-star team is going to disband a little bit. As long as they keep Freddie, I'm happy.
Well, I heard we re-signed Verlander today, but we're going to lose Correa.
I did not hear about Verlander.
I actually just saw that on Instagram right before I jumped on here.
Got you.
Yeah,
That's a big one.
1 year, 25 mil.
Okay, that's fair. Yeah. What is he, 38 or 39? That's fair.
Yeah.
And Correa, like
You seem a little salty, Josh.
Oh no, I did not want Verlander. I mean, he's not going to be good. Like after taking 2 years off at that age, he signed Kluber. Same thing. 2 Cy Youngs, 2 years off, and he was bad. Yeah, and for Correa, like Yankees are getting a shortstop. Is it going to be Seager? It's not going to be Correa anymore because Correa comes out and says that Jeter was a bad shortstop. He comes out and says that. What is he trying to do? Like, he's about to get a big offer from the Yankees, and he says that. Now they can't sign him.
Yeah, he's going to Detroit.
He's going to Detroit? Good.
Yeah, well, that's the rumor.
Enjoy. Actually, they got AJ Hinch, so that would make sense. Yeah, they might start cheating again. Be Detroit next.
Boo, I think you're trying to talk and we can't hear you.
Oh, can you guys hear me now?
There you go.
Yeah.
Oh, there you go. Okay. I was just saying we got a bunch of nerds on the show. They're talking baseball in November. Like who? We got NFL. We got college football. They're talking about, it's like bunch of Uncle Ricos talking about the past. It's not baseball season.
We're 2 weeks out.
No, we're 2 weeks out. No, but one of the other exciting things that Adam just told me over at FanFest, we are live on Twitter as well on FanFest. This is a very exciting time. Jared, we haven't caught up since the NBA Finals when we were doing our private betas with giving away NBA Top Shots.
Right.
It is a very exciting evolution in the launch of NXTSCORE and the announcement that these tokens are going to become NXTX tokens, which is an Ethereum-based token. People are getting very excited about it. We've had thousands of downloads, as you know. From Cody Duncan. Cody, you're the man. Couldn't be with us today because he's doing some moving and like setting up his studio, but Cody's a star in his own right. Thank you, Cody, for everything you've done. But these NXTX tokens, people are referring other people to try to get 500 tokens for themselves, 500 tokens for their friends. Who knows what these tokens are going to be worth? Could be magic internet funny money, could be magic beans, or it could be worth real money. We just don't know what the crypto moment, what's going to happen. But we are working on some things. I think Josh is certainly working on some things to give it some real value. At the same time, Jamie, as we were talking about it earlier, one of the things with this crypto moment is if you have, let's say, 10,000 people, 100,000 people, 1 million people that have NXTX tokens, what happens is you have the entire gaming ecosystem, DraftKings, FanDuel, Fubo TV, Penn National Gaming, whoever it is, saying, well, if we offer some value for NXTX tokens, we know we're reaching sports bettors. We know we're reaching sports fans. It's not like Dogecoins or Shibu or whatever, where we don't know there's any particular thing. We know we're targeting sports fans. So it would be like a music token that everybody has or anything. So we're the first token in sports where everyone's going to know that you're reaching sports fans. I think that's a very exciting thing. What do you think about that?
We just lost Jamie on the stream, but the other great thing about that token concept, and here's Jamie right in now. If you press your hand raise button on there, they'll jump right on. But yeah, the crazy thing about what's going on right now in sports, I mean, literally we were talking about this last night, Boo. Your son was reading on TikTok about the naming rights deal for crypto.com to name the Staples Center. And this morning we're reading about it in the Journal. I mean, first off, not only is crypto taking the world by storm and sports world by storm, but then you've got alternative platforms like TikTok and everything else where, your son's getting the news from far faster and better sources than we are reading the Journal the next morning.
Hey, Kevin,
I see Jamie raising her hand in the lobby there. Can we, Robbie, can we go ahead and get her screen back up?
Yeah, perfect.
And while we're waiting, Adam's going to go ahead and get, they're going to go ahead and get Jamie back here in just a second. But while we're about it, I mean, I think one of the big things, and I definitely want to get more from this when Jamie comes back on, because tomorrow night, Thursday Night Football, which we're going to have a great NXTSCORE tournament on, is got a really interesting matchup of Atlanta versus the Patriots. And of course, I know Jamie being Georgia Girl is going to have a opinion on that real soon. But the cool thing about 0-100 is what it does for a boring game. When it starts off and the numbers, the expectations in the game are blown out, somebody's totally not going to make their original fantasy targets. Otherwise, your original fantasy game that was predicted of what's going to happen at the beginning of the game, it's out the water. But 0-100 and live and dynamic and next score, you've got something that's live and current, and it actually reflects can make a boring game fun. Hey, but Jamie, while you're out, we were just talking about that Patriots at Atlanta game tomorrow night. We're gonna have a great tournament on next score, and I'm sure you've got an opinion on how that one's gonna turn out.
You know what? I'm a huge Patriots. I was an Atlanta Falcons cheerleader actually, but I've been a big Patriots fan this year. Obviously with Mac Jones, with Damian Harris, with Dante Hightower. I mean, it's like Tuscaloosa, like East after Philadelphia. So it's been really fun to watch those guys. I'm actually buddies with the Atlanta Falcons head football coach. So I think Matt Ryan just doesn't have the weapons that he used to have when Calvin Ridley was playing, right? He doesn't have him to throw to. So I think their offense has been lacking a little bit. We've seen a few unfortunate turnovers. And the defense is just getting, like, is there even a word, like, strong enough for just how completely obliterated the defense got Sunday against the Cowboys. So I'm obviously looking forward to the game. I got a lot of Bama guys in there. I'm rooting for the Falcons. But it'll be fun to see, the veteran quarterback go against the rookie and what kind of days they have.
And you said you were very impressed with Mac Jones. You thought it was very accurate, and you thought you had high hopes for him before, and now you think he's especially strong. You were talking about the 3 Alabama quarterbacks all winning this week in the NFL to a
Jalen and Mac. And that's not something we're usually known for at all. We've never really been QBU.
Yeah, right.
Right? RBU, sure. Defensive line guys, right? We always have a star on the O-line as well. And we don't even need to talk about the receivers. But yeah, this is really exciting to watch our rookie quarterbacks have, success here and there. But I always knew Mac was, like I told you earlier, Boo, could throw the ball through an eye of a needle, and his accuracy is tremendous. So I think we're just seeing now what I and probably a lot of Bama fans already knew.
Fantastic. Well, you know what? This game has actually started Lakers Milwaukee, and I'll show you. Jared, you want to walk through some of these props here? Giannis, you watching the game at all? Playing the NXTSCORE app?
Oh, I don't have the game in front of me, but I know we got Giannis there on the over under. Right now, I'm on my phone, so I can't personally see the app right now.
It's got 7 points. He's got 7 points on the over under, and it's just gone down to 37% for him to cover his over. When he's 7 points or more, 63% on the under. James is out, and Anthony Davis, he's already scored here. So that's the beauty of it. As you're watching the game, these prices are honestly always fluctuating. It's like a share price. And if you notice, the over and the under, for all of you guys watching, the over and the under, they add up to 100. So only one of those 2 selections are going to become 100. The other one is going to become 0. And they're constantly fluctuating between a 0 and 100. And unlike other over-under games, you don't just pick it and wait around, sip your beer. You're actually entertaining. You're trading it. You can trade up and down. Somebody hits a 3-pointer while the prop just moves up. You can cash out. You don't have to sit on it the whole time. Like last night with Steph Curry. I mean, that's a magical, magical player. What a magical season he's having. And you saw a lot of volatility in those props. And Josh, I mean, this is one of the things we talk about all the time. Any game, the more volatile it is, the more fun it is. Would you agree with that, Josh?
I mean, for the most part, when we construct these games, we try to find bets that are in the optimal volatility range. So like the most volatile bet is actually Jared's favorite, is the next pitch can be a ball or a strike, 50-50. Right. It's going to get split out. But we like it when the user can make 1 or 2 trades. If the guy's 2 or 3 buckets away from getting there, that's like our sweet spot.
And Jared, how has this app turned out in the last few years for you? A couple of years for you, since we started it.
Say the question again, Boo.
how has this app looked for you over the past 2 years when we've been testing it, working on so much research, so much probability, so much of the science, and now we're finally productizing in a good-looking visual way, having these people centralized that add their avatars. What do you think about all that? What do you think about the evolution?
Oh, it's come a long way. I mean, and you know, it's night and day from when we started and where we're at now. It's really exciting because we have all these features now. You can follow your favorite players, and you can DM them behind the scenes. You can, watch what they're doing, and and learn. And then we got this Discord app where you can communicate with everybody. A lot of good stuff's going on with this app, and it's beautiful concept because once you learn it, and basically it's a buy low, sell high, fantasy sports meets stock market kind of thing. It's an amazing concept. So I'm just excited to be a part of it and really watch this thing grow into what it is. And I'm really looking forward to the future with this new cryptocurrency that we got brewing here.
That's right. Win those next decks, make good trades, win that next decks, move up that leaderboard, get into some of those side pots, because the side pots is where you really get to demonstrate whether you're a real man or not. That's really I mean, I usually put these 10 token pots. Josh, on the other hand, puts 5,000 token pots. So,
I used to do the max out pot 9999, and I'm like, nobody's entering. So it's I'm lowering them. But actually, the 5,000 pots are a little bit risky. My token balance has gone down since Friday. It has gone down because the 5,000 pots, Dame Dollah's entering, and he's kicking my ass.
Well, and that shows you the value in these coins. People are now like, okay, these coins are worth something. So if I'm going to join a 5,000 pot tournament where I have a chance of losing 5,000 coins, like a lot of people don't want to do that. There's some risk involved there. So that's beautiful because these coins are already worth something before it hits the market.
Well, it's exciting. We've spent a lot of time here. It's a good pregame show, and obviously the game started. So, but Jamie, any other questions for you? And as we're getting ready for our next shows and getting kind of our formal plan for NXTSCORE tonight.
Sure. No, you know what? And I'm sure people that are watching, this is my first time actually in game in the app. And I'm watching the numbers in the screen is just changing so quickly right before my eyes. I'm like, oh my gosh, wait, I didn't even take that in. So can you walk us through quickly what is actually happening? And I'm sure it looks a little different in basketball than it does in football, than it does in baseball, and so on and so forth. But as the different prop bets shuffle, what's going on here? Can you walk us through that?
So there's let's say the over under on Anthony Davis to score 6+ points. Okay, so if he scores 6+ points, those shares are going to be worth 100 cents. Okay, and you get to buy as many shares you want. So everybody at the start of the game gets $500 bankroll. It's a fictional bankroll, but you get $500 for free. And if Anthony Davis ends up scoring 6 or more points by the end of the first quarter, that prop is going to be worth 100 cents. So if you have 100 shares on it, it's going to be worth $100. Okay, because each share is worth $1. If you have the under, those shares are going to be worth 0 because he did not score, or he did end up scoring over 6 points. If you take the under on it, you buy it. So when it's going from 0 to 100, one of those things is going to be 100. One of those things is going to be 0. So 100 cents or 0 cents. And right now, Josh's probability model is saying Anthony Davis has a 56% chance of not scoring 6 points. Not scoring 6 points. He's going to hit the under 56%.
Okay.
So think of it as win probability instead of win probability as to whether team A is going to win or team B is going to win. This is win probability. The equivalent of win probability on is Anthony Davis just going to score 6 points this quarter or not. So you're taking that win probability dynamic, that probability dynamic, to every single prop on earth, so that's exactly what's happening here. So the price, one of these two props is going to go to 100. So if you own enough shares of it, like I'm going to buy 500 shares of Anthony Davis to score 6 or over. Okay, I'm going to take the over on that. So that costs me $220 because I bought 500 shares. 100 shares is $44, so about $220 worth of shares. And if Davis now hits a 2 and then goes to the free throw line, let's say, that prop is going to jump to, what would you say, Josh? What would that prop jump to? If Davis got to the free throw, it's an and one situation right now.
Oh, if he gets an and one right now, okay.
Yeah, he hits 2, so he'll go to points, then he goes to the free throw line. He's what, a 65%, 66% free throw shooter?
He's probably like an 80% free throw shooter. So let's say an and one puts him at 4.8, right? And then he needs to get 6. It'll be over 80% in that play. It'll probably go to like 85.
So the great thing to know, I mean, this is really, it's a trading game, not a pick the right outcome and wait game, because you can literally win this game merely by anticipating how the probability is going to change. So, you know, if they start off at a 50-50 probability, the biggest thing that's going to harm that person's probability is time. As the time runs out, and if they're not putting points on the board, then the odds are going to go against them. So the players that are really killing it on NXTSCORE are the ones that are trading and looking and saying, you know, it's really just buy low, sell high. Whether it's the over or the under, they think that probability is going to change. And in really exciting games, and Josh tries to model them all this way, is that these numbers are going to go up and down throughout, you know, this match. It's not just a pick one and wait. This is really designed to be the game you're playing throughout. You know, you don't just set your lineup. You've got to constantly change your lineup and find that most efficiency and build up that biggest bankroll. So that's really why every next score matters.
So
and another tip here for anybody that's listening, if you can try to guess what the coach is going to do, like if Anthony Davis goes out typically at the 4-minute mark, you can mate and you know, you can just buy the under right then, because you know Anthony Davis is going to go out of the game. And then all of a sudden you can start collecting on that under, because obviously he's not going to go over if he's out of the game on the bench at that point. So, you know, there's a little bit of game planning involved too.
So just as we were talking, Jamie, if you saw the price drop from 46 or 44 down to 38% now, that's just because time is elapsing. So he's getting closer and closer to getting pulled out of the game. But if all of a sudden Davis scored, that prop would jump to, let's say, 64, 65, because all you need is he's got 5 more minutes to score another field goal. Right? And LeBron's out. So the points are generally going to circulate through Davis. So is that somewhat intuitive?
Yes, completely. I have another question. Does the gaming and the betting only start when the game starts, or is there an opportunity for me to put in, you know, all of my buys before the game?
Before the start of the first quarter, you can. In the second quarter, there's a whole new tournament. You would be able to, but the prices won't fluctuate because the probability doesn't change. Like, because they're at 0 points and 12 minutes is left, the probability doesn't change. But there is, though, for football, certainly. So anytime, you know, people got good insights, if you have one insight you want to go all in, you certainly can do that before the game and sit tight on that prop.
And when does that open up? Is that a window like a few hours before? Can I do it a couple days before?
Each night. So the new tournament starts. So tonight we'll have at the end of both of the ESPN, the games are on ESPN, right? At the end of both the ESPN games, we will have the Thursday night football for tomorrow. So we'll have the props for Thursday night football for our first quarter props launch. So each quarter is a tournament. So the second quarter is a different tournament. Third quarter is a different tournament. So on NXTSCORE, you always have an opportunity. If you got blown out and blew through your bankroll in the first quarter, you can make it up in the second quarter. It's a whole new ball game. You know, the season starts. It's a whole new thing. So no need to cry. You know, no need to cry after the first quarter, because you got a whole new life to you. So we basically put up the props right at the end of it, at least so far. But Jamie, thank you for coming on. We are so excited.
Thank you guys so much.
We're excited to have you on. Jared, great to see you again, man. We're gonna
get
back together and rock and roll with this thing and keep the momentum going. Kevin and Josh, great to see you guys. So we'll sign off for NXTSCORE FanFest tonight. FanFest, thank you very much. This is fantastic. You guys are definitely going places.
Thank you.
All right.
Thanks, Boo.
Hey, thanks, guys.
There, guys.